YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer, Evelyn. So we're going to be reviewing a revival series of Quantum Leap. Before we get into explaining what the series Quantum Leap is about, I want to say a big thank you to all the new subscribers that have recently subscribed. You don't know how much I appreciate the support and love for the channel. And to any new viewers, I really appreciate it if you can subscribe, share, and like the video, keep the channel growing. Okay, so back to the explanation. I was pleasantly surprised a couple of weeks ago when I saw the trailer for the revival of Quantum Leap. Now, let's explain what the revival of this series means. The original series, Quantum Leap, starred Scott Beluga as the title character of Sam Beckett, and also Dean Stockwell as Admiral Al Calavici. I saw this series as a high schooler, the reruns. I practically saw all the episodes, and I loved the premise of the show. The premise of the show that Sam Beckett was a physicist that got funding by the government with the idea that he can travel to the past in his own timeline and correct certain wrongs in the past. But in the first episode, well, I had to rewatch the first part of the episode. We see that the army was going to cut off the funding because there was no results. So on that fateful day, Sam manages to leap, and there's a cool scene where he's like something similar to Tron or that famous Leonardo da Vinci painting where he has his arms there and he looks like he's been sucked into this like ball of fire. From our understanding later, was like a atomic reaction that takes for Sam to leap into the past. Because the original Quantum Leap came out in 1989, so you can see what they thought the year 2000 would look, that everything would be, you know, flying cars, bright lights and all that kind of stuff. And when Sam leaps back, you see that cool shot of him traveling through the sky. And then when he eventually leaps into the first person, he wakes up with no memory for who he is. He looks in the mirror and he doesn't recognize who he sees. Only thing he knows that the person staring right at him at the mirror is not him. And then we learn that when he leaps into one person, the soul of that person goes into Sam's body. And so from that episode, we see that Al uses a holographic projector thing to lock onto Sam's consciousness, and then Al is like a hologram to Sam in the past. So each episode is trying for Sam to go back home because they can't figure out how Sam could leap back to his house. And then Quantum Leap, the original series, ended in 5 seasons. I didn't know that. As a kid, you think, there's so many episodes and you think it was a multitude. So I was surprised to have a look that Quantum Leap only had 5 seasons. So Quantum Leap ended with an ambiguous end, where the last episode in season 5, we understood that Sam met God, and what this godlike person told him that Sam was choosing to carry on leaping. So the end was a little bit chilling for me, that he never returned back home. I remember as a high schooler watching that thinking, oh my god, that's such a dark ending. So now let's move on to the to the revival series. The revival series stars Raymond Lee as the new scientist, Ben Song, and also that taking over the character of Al Calavici in a sense, because they did a role reversal, is Kaylin Bassett as Addison. On the first episode, we see that Addison and Ben are having an engagement party, and Ben receives a text message from somebody to say that they have to do the leap today. Ben goes off, and he does, but then again, I didn't like the beginning of that sequence. I really wish they would have stood on that sequence to see how he goes to leap to the past. It was a little bit too quick for my liking, but then again, when he does leap forward, if the same thing happens to Ben that happened to Sam, he has no idea who he is. He's completely saying what the heck is going on. And one thing that from episode 1, we see that changes from the original series. We get to see more behind the scenes of the laboratory, the people that work there, and we can see a different time difference. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that at the beginning of the episode, we get a monologue explaining that this series was set 30 years after when Sam Beckett did his experiments. So we can see a nice continuation line. So everybody in the future has no idea why Ben has leaped, even though they all said that the testing phase wasn't ready for another 5 years. And then they find out that Ben uploaded a new code, allowed the possibility for him to leap back, which I won't spoil the end of the first episode, because if he managed to leap back, there would be no series. So they're trying to figure out all those things, and then we get introduced to the other people that work within the science place. So we get introduced to Herbert Magic Williams, the head of the Quantum Leap Time Travel Project, played by the actor Ernie Hudson. I love him as an actor. Remember, you see him in Ghostbusters. Apparently, reading in Wikipedia that he was the Vietnam War veteran that Sam leaped into in the original series of season 3 episode Leap Home Vietnam, where, well, then again, obviously they've changed the actor per se, but I like that. There's so much, everything is like intertwining with the original series, and I think that's a great approach what they're doing. I don't like when they reboot these other series that has so much different relation to the original. Like in the original, Addison taking the role for Al manages to look into Ben's consciousness, and obviously Ben's freaked out going, who the hell are you? And episode 1 is primarily Ben trying to save this guy who's trying to like steal money for his wife and also for his kids, since his wife has some kidney problems. And then another part from episode 1 that we can see that Addison goes and explains in the Cliff Note versions to Ben what the heck is going on, and then we get a cool holographic projection of Sam Beckett, aka Scott Beluga. And when I saw that, it confirms like they're tying everything to the original. And I bet you my bottom dollar that on the last episode of this series, Scott Beluga will do a cameo. I guarantee to it. That's why I guarantee. And then when Addison explains to Ben like what had happened, he goes and says, you know, why did I do that? And they all say, well, they don't know why. The only thing they know is that you entered into a new coding within Ziggy. That's another thing. Like in the original series, they had Ziggy, the supercomputer, artificial intelligence. And here they go refer back to that. And also the character Ian, played by Mason Alexander Park. I love them as an actor. So great. I loved Mason as the character of Desire. I'm so glad that they're giving Mason, you know, as an actor more of an opportunity to be on TV. So that's great. And within episode 1, we find out that the head of security within the team of Jen, she finds video footage of before that Ben leaped. He was there with a woman, and the woman was wearing a ring. And later on, towards the end of the episode, we find out that the ring belonged to, you know, the Vietnam people. And then we see that it's a connection to Dean Stockwell's character of Al Calavici, that this woman is Al Calavici's daughter. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I thought that Addison could be Scott's daughter because she was going to leap. But okay, I kind of like that angle. And then by the end of the episode, Ben manages to save the dad that was in the jewel heist gone wrong. And he manages to leap forward. And then when at the end of the episode, when he manages to leap forward, he leaps into a rocket. I think it was like a NASA space mission. And instead of the classic phrase of "oh boy," we get "oh." You can fill in the blank word there. And also as well, at the end, Addison sees a video recording left by Ben, saying that he's sorry that he had to do that, but he can't really say anything at the moment, but something bigger than the both of them is going on, that he'll try to get back home to her. So hopefully they'll make there's gonna be a bigger reason here of like what's going to happen. And also I'm excited to see the daughter of Al Calavici, apparently played by Georgina Riley. They have her named here as Janice Calavici. The reason why she convinced Ben to leap without fully testing the machine. But then again, I thought personally that they would have, you know, figured out the side effect of memory loss, but I guess not. Well, anyway, that's my summation of the episode. I'm very excited to see episode 2. And leave your thoughts and comments below if anybody's seen this and if they do remember the original series. So this is the end of the video. I want to say a big thank you to anybody that's made it here. And as I leave you always, bye.